As long as we are tying our worth and our value to staying busy, then we are not valuing simply being. What could you do today to allow yourself some moments of time to just be? Hi, this is Kelly Hine. I started to notice how often I would say, when asked, "How are you?" I would say something like, "Good, busy," and then I started to notice how many other people were saying that. Here's the thing about that. In our modern day and age, we have begun to associate busyness with our worthiness. If we're busy and getting things done, we feel like that is where our value is, and we don't necessarily consciously think this. But the problem with this is that as long as we are tying our worth and our value to staying busy, then we are not valuing simply being, getting still and quietening the mind. There's so much resistance to that because the mind, and some would say the ego, is afraid to get still and quiet, because if the mind stops, it's like it loses its purpose. And that's where this strong resistance towards getting still and quiet comes from. I remember that resistance when I first knew that I really wanted to start meditating. I knew that I needed it, but there was so much resistance because of the mind or the ego telling me that this is uncomfortable. There was so much discomfort around just being still and quiet. So if you think about any resistance that you have towards taking real quality self-care time, and I don't mean sitting in front of Netflix because the mind is still busy. I mean just being, sitting outside and just gazing at nature, or sitting quietly to meditate. Anything where you are allowing the mind to get calm and still and just resting the mind, resting the body, and just being. Do you value that? Think about the resistance that you might have towards that. You might think, okay, I'm going to create a little bit of space and just go and sit. And you might notice within a very short space of time that you start to feel a bit uncomfortable, like I should be getting up and doing something, and the mind wants to start busying you with thoughts. That is just the mind's habit. It is just the ego. We've got to remember that our worth, our worthiness, is not about how much we're getting done. It is not about doing. You are worthy just because you exist. So allow yourself to feel your worthiness. Let go of the attachment to doing and getting things done. And we've got to tell a new story about self-care time and taking good quality time to just be. Because we know that this is so good for us. In our society, we've overglorified the idea of busy. Think of next time someone asks you, "How are you?" Imagine if you could reply, "Wonderful. I've been taking so much time to just be. I've stopped being so busy. I've been enjoying the little things, the little moments, and just gazing at nature and just enjoying being over doing." Imagine if we could say more of that. Time management expert Laura Vanderkam gives us a tip for prioritizing more self-care time. If you find that you tend to associate yourself as being a real doing sort of person, then what Laura says is that we can think of your self-care time, that time for just being, as if it's just another item that you want to tick off your to-do list. So schedule it in, write it down, and by treating it as an item on your to-do list, she says that this can help busy people to make it a priority and take away the guilt, the stories of guilt that we have around just being, remembering how important it is. It's so good for our mind, body, spirit, for our relationships to just be. So take that tip, treat it like something that just needs to get done and ticked off as a priority, and carve out that time and enjoy just being. What could you do today to allow yourself some moments of time to just be? Let me know in the comments below if you found this helpful, and remember to share it with others that you think would enjoy it as well. If you haven't already subscribed, go to kellyhine.com where you can get more helpful tips and resources for living a life that you love. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you next time.